Hello, my name is Chris Hammond. I'm the Director of Training here with DotNetNuke Corporation. In this brief video, I'm going to talk to you about installing extensions automatically within DotNetNuke. Now, within DNN, the standard process for installing an extension is to log in as a host or a superuser account, and then to navigate to the host in the extensions page. Well, within the extensions page, you can go to the Install Extension Wizard, and you can upload a zip file for your extension. You can also use the existing extension installation process, which will allow you to install any of the modules that come with DotNetNuke but are not installed by default. But what we're going to do is show you how to do it another way, how you can actually use a folder within the root of your DotNetNuke website by accessing the file system, and that folder is going to be called the install folder. So what we'll do is we'll switch over here to a DotNetNuke website that's currently running. This is a local copy of DotNetNuke, currently version 5.6.1. If I go ahead and reload here, we can see that it loads up on the page. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to navigate into the folder for that particular website. So I'm going to do so by going through Web Matrix here, pointing to the path where that folder exists. You can see it's under this My Websites folder and then DotNetNuke Community Edition. Now, within the root of all DotNetNuke websites, you're going to find an install folder. Inside of the install folder, you're going to find a number of other folders. Now, what we actually have here are folders for the various types of extensions. We have an auth system, a config, container, language, module, portal, provider, scripts, skin, template. So there's all these different types of extensions that we can install within DotNetNuke. Now, the most common ones are going to be the module extension. Now, if we go into the module folder inside of the install folder, what we're going to find here is a list of all of the modules that come with DotNetNuke. Now, these modules are the ones that are available but not installed. And you can see we have the announcements module, the blog module, the documents module, and so forth. Now, these particular files are called .resources files. They are actually renamed zip files. And if we went in and changed the name on one of these extensions from .resources to .zip, and go ahead and hit yes to tell Windows that's okay, you can see it's now a zip file. And if I go ahead and double click on that file, I can see the contents of that zip file. Now, what we can do here is if we change extensions from .resources to .zip, we're going to then be able to use the automated install process for DotNetNuke. So I'm going to change a couple of the extensions here. I've got the announcements module, the blog module, and then I'm going to change the form and list module as well. So what we're going to be able to do now is on our DotNetNuke website is call a specific URL. And what's going to happen is DotNetNuke is going to go through the install folder, and it's going to look for all of the zip files within that folder and the subfolders. And it will install any of those packages that have a zip extension. So if we go to our browser now, and I come in and I type in a URL, it's going to be the name or the URL of our website, and then /install/install.aspx. And then here's the required argument. You need to put a question mark, mode equal install resources. Now, this query string parameter we're passing in called install resources is going to tell DotNetNuke to go out and install any zip files within that install folder. So what we should see here in a moment is the page will load up, and we'll see a message that tells us those packages are installing. Now, we don't get a full detailed process of the installation like we would if we uploaded the extensions. All we're going to see is that it will go through and install each of those, and it should have a success message next to those when they are completed. So we can see the announcements module is completed. It's now installing the blog module. And then after the blog module, it will install the form and list module. And once that's done, we should be able to see a message that tells us the installation is complete, and we can click on a link to take us back to our website. So that has gone through and now installed the announcements, the blog, and the form and list module. Now, if we go back to our file system here, inside of the install/module folder, those zip files are no longer here. When the installation process occurs, they are removed from this particular folder. Now, I'm going to go through that process one more time, but this time I'm going to install a different provider. So within DotNetNuke, there are a number of different types of providers. One of those is the HTML editor provider. Now, within DotNetNuke, starting with version 5.4, the default HTML editor provider was one known as the Telerik RAD editor. Well, prior versions of DotNetNuke had a different provider. It was called the FCK editor provider. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out here and I'm going to take the FCK provider from an older copy of DotNetNuke. Now, I have a download of DotNetNuke version 5.2.3. I'm going to go into the install folder. I'm going to go into the provider folder. And this is a clean zip file, an installation package. It hasn't been installed. And within there, I'm going to find an FCK provider package. So I'm going to copy that zip file. I'm going to paste that zip file into my existing DotNetNuke's website into the install provider folder. So I'm taking that zip file and I'm making it available. Now what I want to do is to call that install/install.aspx mode equal resources again and let DotNetNuke install that provider. Now we're going to be using that provider in a future video, so I wanted to go ahead and get that installed here. So we can see that the installation completes here. We get a success message there, and we can click here to access the portal. That'll take us back to the portal. Now, like I said, in a future video, we're going to go through the process of actually utilizing that provider, and we'll show you how to change that provider out with the default provider in DotNetNuke. So I'd encourage you to check out our DotNetNuke training page underneath the resources tab on DotNetNuke.com. There you're going to find a variety of free videos as well as information about our instructor-led training and our custom on-site and online training offerings. Again, this is Chris Hammond with DotNetNuke Corporation. Thanks for watching the video.